Check it out. Philly's #1 DJ Ran, a.k.a. the Impact Player, and you're listening to www.inyourheadonline.com. Best wrestling program on the web, period.
Got a problem with something that's going down, or you got a problem with somewhere you're being booked. You know, the biggest problem we have in this business as wrestlers is everybody gets in a corner and talks behind each other's back, and nobody goes to anybody, sits down man to man, looks them in the eye, and says, I don't like this, I want to change this, and this is my idea. It's a lot easier to sit there, do what they tell you to do, go back in the locker room and bitch how bad it was. Because that way there, so you don't put yourself on the line. If you tell them, I have a better idea, and it's worse than what theirs was, then you take the blame, and nobody wants to take that blame. Mm-hmm. So it's easier to say, he doesn't know what he's doing, he's a bad booker, well, what'd you come up with? I didn't come up with anything, I just did what I was told. Well, if you've been doing it for 15 years, and you knew it was wrong, and you had a better idea, why didn't you say something? Well, I didn't say anything because, all right, fuck you, shut up. You know, and that's the biggest problem we have. That's pro wrestling in a nutshell right there.
Would you like to have that job again sometime?
Absolutely not.
Right.
I'd rather cook up meth across from the DEA office.
Well, we do have one last caller here. Hopefully he'll make your day. We got President Clinton on the line.
Well, Kevin Nash, I'm so happy to be speaking with you right now. How are you?
I'm good, Mr. President. I'm sure you would be happy to be speaking to me. That way you got to speak to your old lady.
Oh, man, she is such a bitch. I can't stand her.
Oh.
Ask your question.
Absolutely.
What would you do with Palin if she gave you a cigar? I'm just asking. Asking, President.
I wouldn't need the cigar with her. Other people, sometimes you need the cigar, but no, I could handle that. I don't want her anywhere near the government, but, she can handle other things.
Watch out, she might shoot you and gut you like a caribou there, sir.
I know, she'll fly past in her helicopter and just gun me down.
I think she sold that on eBay. I was on her plane. I can't keep it straight.
Right. Speaking of eBay, real quick, before we get to President Clinton's comment, are those the auctions on eBay real? The ones where you can buy like a dinner with you? All right.
Absolutely, you get to hang out. I mean, you get an uncensored. I'm completely out of control by the time I get there. You want stories? You want 4 or 5 hours of stories? Drop about 12 beers in me, a couple pieces of steak, and I'm smoke a couple of Cuban cigars up. Tonight, a storytelling around the fire you will not forget.
Excellent. Money well spent.
We haven't had any complaint yet.
So what was your question, President? Sorry to cut you off.
Well, it was going to be the eBay thing, but also I wanted to know...
Sorry about that.
That's all right. It was going to be, what is the worst angle you thought you were a part of?
God, there's been so many. I thought that NWO thing was a rip-off from the Japanese companies. Oh, no, wait, that's Flair did a mind melt on me.
I think I'll never get over.
Damn that thing. It was crazy how they brought it back with just me, Hogan, and Scott, and we left Austin Rock lying in Detroit, and there wasn't a person sitting on their ass. It worked again. It was crazy how that fluky thing just kept working. God, who knows? It's just really worst angle. See, gimmicks and angles are different. I've got to say that probably the best angle ever was probably that. A lot of people won't probably remember this because I don't think they get the True Mac Classics. But I think that short run Van Hammer Vinny Vegas classic series of matches. I have to say that's probably some of my finest work. And, also had
that's one of my favorites, Van Hammer.
A 10-minute barn burner with a RVD and a Dothan TV taping. Because That was another classic. It was funny when I came back to WWE the last time. For just like absolutely no reason whatsoever, because on TV, like RVD and I had absolutely like no correlation. Like we didn't speak to each other, we didn't like talk to each other at the coffee pot. I mean nothing. But like we were a tag team on the road, and like we would just like take turns. Like they would just job us like every night. We'd go out like 9 nights. And like I'd be like, damn, we were so close. And it just because. He was in the doghouse and I was in the doghouse. It was like one of those deals, like I guess they were going to try to crack us or whatever, but I think RVD just wanted Gatorade when the match was over. So.
He's big on the Gatorade.
And I had some Gatorade.
Mm-hmm. When the NWO did come back, was there any like talks of doing an NWO versus DX feud?
Well, by the time we came back...
I know they weren't around, but I guess you could have brought them back.
Well, when we came back in, it was one of those deals like everybody, well, let me get this right. So these guys are going to go over. And because, see, the thing that they didn't expect Hogan and Rock to go toe-to-toe in Chicago and the whole place chant Hogan. Mm-hmm. You know, so I mean, they thought that they had this incredible machine and that they thought that we were a fluke. They thought the NWO thing was a fluke. And like, when they put us toe-to-toe against their guys, I mean, we were stars. And people perceived us as bigger, as big, if not bigger stars. And they just basically went into Vince and they get this right. So these guys are going to go over, and these guys almost put this business put us out of business, and we're going to put these guys over. How's that right? How's that not? And they eventually the politics of pro wrestling. We were supposed to go to. Toronto Dome, we were supposed to screw Austin, come down and screw Rock and Hogan's match and leave him in a bloody mess. That was supposed to be by the time we got to the building, Steve was stunning me and Scott, and Hogan was turning babyface. Mm-hmm. And that was in the course of about, 12 hours. Mm-hmm. So, such is the wonderful life of pro wrestling.
Thanks for calling in, Mr. President. It's always
I appreciate
an honor having you call in. He's exclusive to In Your Head.
Talking to you, sir.
Let everybody know again, you're going to be in Kingwood, West Virginia, October 9th for the XWE. That's Extreme Wrestling Entertainment. And that's run by Damian Lee, who is a former adult film star, but now he's running a wrestling company. And apparently they got some TV deals going down.
Probably the least sleazy wrestling promoter going, I think.
Right. And he'll be calling in later on tonight to talk about those. Really appreciate coming on tonight. Is there anything you want to tell everybody out there?
For the love of God, if you're not registered to vote, please register to vote. And if you are registered to vote and you decided on the day of that you want to vote for McCain, stay home sick. About it.
This is Larry Zabisco, and I recommend listening to InYourHead.online.com.